right, we got another mobile one down in Maryland. We actually got two today, so we are going back on that orange truck. We got some other work to be doing to that, and we have a truck before that with some fueling issues. So I just went and bought a snap-on scanner because, I mean, I kind of need it, and for fuel issues, definitely makes the job a lot easier, able to monitor rail pressure, monitor all that stuff with the snap-on scanner. So 2,700 bucks well spent. We got about an hour and 4 minutes until we are there, and Stadies are out like crazy today. So today is going to be an interesting day. 52 degrees, and it's going to be a pretty nice day. No, I missed it, but like the cops are on a thing today. They want a piece of farm. Right, I don't know if you can see it in the end, but farm equipment. And then we got the cop with his lights on behind him. He can't even see him. I wonder where they're trying to get him to pull over at, but. Told you, it's going to be an interesting day, especially Holly cops. Holly cops are very, very corrupt, if you guys have ever been to Mount Holly, Pennsylvania. I generally try to just make my way through and not make any noise when I'm coming through Holly. I've never been pulled over by them, but I know and have seen some stories of these guys. Like, there you go. Got him. All right, so here's where we are at. Truck low, rail pressure, rough idle, a bunch of different little things. We went through and checked the cross tubes. We saw all the work that was done and kind of had to second guess a couple of little things. And I hate to second guess other people's work, but unfortunately, when you see a bunch of parts thrown at a truck and it hasn't fixed the issue, we generally like to go through and do things like that. And unfortunately, with a low rail pressure issue, we did verify that the FCA, when you unplug it, it goes to 26,000, but that's not under a load. So we went through, we checked all the cross tubes, which they were low. They were about 35, 37 foot-pounds of torque. So we upped those to about 43, 44-ish. A lot of guys have been having issues with the factory specs. I know on my trucks, I've been doing them for years, but that was the first thing to check because, like I said, we saw all this work, and unfortunately, it's like when you're just slapping parts at something, it kind of gets a little suspicious too. We also had one of these guys was a little loose. You can see here, so these need to be absolutely tight, but that was the first thing. Well, it wasn't the first thing we checked, but we did go through and do a bunch of tests and figure everything out. We're going to get it all thrown back together and then go take it on a test drive. But this is where we're at. We did have, I don't know if I have the box on me, but yeah, I got the Snap-on Modus box. I went and bought one just to be able to do stuff like this. So we're going to plug that back in. It was commanding the same fuel pressure it was getting, but I think it tops out, he said, around 18,000. And then when you really get on it, it comes down to about 15,000. So possibly a high return rate issue. All new injectors, all new cross tubes, all new bolts, all new lines. Fuel pump is new. We are going to verify filter quality, but obviously filter's been replaced several times, so that's why it wasn't a concern for us. And the FCA has been new. We are also going to verify that we are getting fuel pressure, so we're going to pop off one of the lines there and tap into it for the fuel pressure. But that's where we're at, so we're going to get this thrown all back together, get everything plugged in, and then we're going to see where we are at. We would check the valve adjustment, but he said everything's seems like it's fine there, and also at the same time the engine is warm, so we're not going to be able to do that at this time and get an accurate reading. All right, she's all back together. We just went and drove it. So just a common issue with the tubes were loose, so we got them all torqued up. They were torqued at, it looked like around 35 to 37. So this truck was having a high return rate issue, some little bit of sluggish starting issues. So we got a new tune on it, and with the stock tune, we were able to get 23.5 on the PSI. Anything that it is commanding, it is getting. So that's a good sign. So we have the big Snap-on box and everything, so all is good. We got a level 1 Smarty tune on it with some advanced timing and a couple other things, so he can actually enjoy this thing now. With the bigger turbo, we're going to shoot for 32 PSI. And yeah, so this is the mobile job we got today. We got one more to do today. We got to go install an alternator down in Baltimore. But hope you guys enjoyed this section. We're going to go work on second truck of the day. I think this one has, what were we at? 151,000 miles. He's got a lot of money in this thing. So she's all good now, and go to the next one. All right, so we got about, what's that say, about 49 minutes until we are at the other truck. We're gonna go get that done today. I'm really hoping that we can just get this thing charging by the end of the day. We're trying a completely different setup. It is a alternator that is for a swap. So it has an internal regulator, and guys have, like, there's still guys telling me that that alternator is internally regulated. It is not. It is an externally regulated alternator. It even, like, anyone who knows these trucks, all of the regulators are in the PCMs. They are externally regulated by a PCM, and it's not a grounding issue. We've cleaned every one of the grounds. We've added grounds. All the factory grounds are there. I know the wire harness and schematic to these trucks, like, off the top of my head. So we're gonna go get that installed, and hopefully today, crossing fingers, we have a working, running tow truck. All right, so I just got here. Looks like they got it moved out. We got the battery cables disconnected, air filter is off. So we are going to go through and get this old alternator off. I'll show you what we got, because that's an externally regulated one. No matter what the comments say, you are all wrong. It's externally regulated. This is an internally regulated alternator. You can see it's for a swap. These guys make these things PA Performance. So we're gonna try this thing out, and hopefully, I'm gonna cut that off and put a legitimate butt connector on it. And we're gonna try this out and see how it goes. All right, so we're gonna go over these. See this? This is an externally regulated. There is no internal regulator on this. This is an internally regulated one. Right here. Before we cut this though, I am going to test it we're gonna test it off of the battery. And if we get the correct voltage, which we have verified with them, a lot of guys said that the gauge was bad. Again, if you watch the video before I asked for advice, watch the whole video. Nothing to do with the grounds, and I have multimeters. I have 2 multimeters down here, and they both tested the same exact thing, and the gauge on the dash is correct. It matches my multimeter. So we're gonna get this guy on, and hopefully all goes well. All right, alternator is installed. Now we just gotta go through, put all the battery connections back on. We're gonna do the negatives first, and pound them back down. Give them a nice tappy tappy, and we'll go from there. All right, so we already tried it. You guys missed a lot. You can see we got the harness all in there, nice and made, and it works. We have 14.3. All right, so everything works now. The only thing is the check gauges light is on. It was on, and none of this stuff works, but there you go. We have a charging, internally regulated alternator. Nice little wire harness. All right, so now that we've got the alternator charging, we're going through and redoing a bunch of this wiring. If you plug this in, this is shorted out. This is completely just making it not start. But we're going through and redoing the wire harness now and making it work and efficient, so that way not everything is clustered. All right, there you go. Here's where we're at. We got this whole thing up. So we have a nice harness here, and we have the nice harness here. So once he gets those parts, we can throw them in. I'm gonna throw this back in temporarily so he doesn't have wires hanging in his face. Get all that thrown back up there, and I'm not gonna plug it in, like I said. All right, you guys can see she runs. Still got so that's what we're trying to fight, check gauges and this guy here. But she runs, whereas before if you plug that in, it did not run. All right, so we're slowly going through. This wire goes to this headlight somewhere. I feel like, so I'm just zip tying things up and putting them close to where they're at. So we got this one over here. This I don't know what it's for yet, so we're just organizing things and keeping it together. I got this mounted. We just got the horn wiring fixed. So we're gonna go and throw a nice loom on that, make it all good. We do have a horn, but unfortunately one of the horns is out. So I'm gonna have to get him another set of horns. I'm gonna get this mounted up and let him know. And then we also need to mount this up and everything so that nothing is touching the frame. And then, look at that, more wiring. So we're slowly going through and figuring everything out. All right, so she has a horn, she has all of this. I don't know what that was from, but slowly, like I said, going through. We got all the wire harnesses zip tied up. Unfortunately, this thing's a little bit of a mess. Nothing I can really do about that on the spot, but the next step is the exhaust. All right, just got back from a ride on that thing and broke it. So we're gonna get this thing started. And we got some goodies. today. Unfortunately, they sent the wrong stuff, but I did tell you guys I was gonna go and get the tires balanced, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We just made an appointment. All right, so we did just go and get the tires rebalanced, and we put the lowest weight on the front, and then the backs were pretty bad. So we just got these in the mail, and I went to install them. And by the way, this is not what I ordered. I did not order the GM mirrors. I was gonna put Dodge 4th gen mirrors on here, and they sent me the wrong ones because these actually do not bolt up. So looks like the mounting plates were the same, but the bolting, the hardware side is not. So I'm gonna have to get those sent back, and we're gonna have to get the correct mirrors installed. But I did take that side off, and unfortunately it just... When I put these new wheels on, this thing vibrated like hell. And they were out by a lot. There was one of them that was out by about 9 with the weights. There was one that was out by about 5. And now they're all good. Now she doesn't vibrate. That's awesome. Still pretty loud with the open downpipe, but she'll be all right. All right, so unfortunately with that, I did go and make a contact request to return the mirrors. So we're gonna get some new ones on them. And then today, I was riding this, and I think I was doing, I'm not gonna say the speed, but it, this like came back, hit me in the foot. So this started flapping like crazy. And I told you guys, I actually went and ordered a hardware kit for everything. So we have like everything here, right? The mirror delete brackets will be in hopefully by Friday. But you guys can see, I went through, replaced all the screws. All of these were broken. I put brand new grommets in every one of these. And then that one back there, I still have to take out. Somebody, I don't know what the deal is with that one. That one I just haven't gotten to because it's a 10 and I don't have a 10 on me. But we went through, replaced all of these. Half the little, you guys will see down here, half these little clips were missing as well. So we got those all installed, all those. Same with this side. Got one here. New grommet down here, and then right here. And then this front piece. Right here, we got a screw in this. Now, this bike is far from perfect. There are a lot of imperfections you guys can see, like down along the bottom. Broken pieces. This is kind of melted by the exhaust. But there you have it. We got everything, you know, all nice and in. That way we have good hardware. It's still gonna move a little bit here. I'm gonna try to see if there's anything I'm missing, but because we still have plenty of hardware left. I also took the old grommets out of here and I put new ones in. I gotta get rid of this as well. I completely forgot about it. Oh yeah, this one we'll keep. That one is important. The other one, not so much. So we are gonna end up doing an oil change at some point. I gotta get those parts on order, but there's the filter right there. So slow and steady, and then rear brakes, and get rid of those things. But she's coming together. She's coming together pretty well. So now I'll be able to ride it tonight. This might flap a little bit. Once these delete plates come in, that'll be perfect. But that looks way better. If you guys want these, they're gonna be in the trash. And then the rest of the stuff I'm gonna keep separate. I'm gonna put the mirrors back together, and I'm gonna post them up for sale if anybody wants them. And then we may do away with these. I don't like the way that those are rigged in there, but slow and steady, she's coming together. We'll just, you know, we'll get her going as time goes on. So I even took the foot pegs off the rear, but I'm gonna leave them in here just, you know, just in case I use. I have everything in there, extra hardware, whatnot. So we got all the hardware up along here. We got our plate screws in. This is gonna be for the license plate light when I get it at some point. And then that should actually do it. This thing's pretty much done for as much as I can do today. But that looks a lot nicer. No mirrors up there. All the hardware, no more red hardware. The only thing, I guess I completely forgot about these. I'm gonna have to get rid of these as well. So I guess I'll get online and start making my order, but slowly chugging along. Looks really good now. Really, really happy with that. None of the crap, like this isn't flopping anymore. I'm gonna get a new taillight at some point. The same one I got for my last bike. I like the blacked out one. The guy already did a pretty good job up front. I will give him that. I like I like this headlight, and I like the marker light. Probably gonna end up redoing the wiring on that as well, because like I do see some stuff in there. I don't like what I see, but slow and steady. So this thing's, I gotta figure that out too. I don't know why that jiggles around. I don't know if that's normal. Still figuring out what all the settings are, but. All right, that's gonna conclude everything. We just got 2 trucks done today. And if you guys wanna know what we all did to that thing, so now it has horns, it has the correct overhead temperature sensor installed up front. We have new windshield wipers and new crankcase ventilation filter. We also redid all of the wiring up here, redid it all the way to the back. The alternator charges now perfectly, truck runs and drives. Unfortunately, this is only the beginning. There are still going to be a lot of issues with this truck, so we're going through and tackling pretty much everything. So if you guys are interested and need anything, I've been traveling to Maryland like every week for these trucks. It seems like it's a new habit. I'll take it. Appreciate you guys for doing it. If you guys are interested, we have merch down below. Also check out Mud Flaps. Save yourself a shitload of money on fuel. But if you want to go stop over at lmpgear.com, it also gives you a chance to win one of their giveaway trucks, so go check that out. But we do have merch. We have hats, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies. Hopefully at this point we have a lot more than just the money line, but we'll see. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video, and if you need any work, hit me up. Later.